Hi. Today I am going to explain a 2021 comedy and action movie called Free Guy. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. The film opens in a city. City's name is Free City. Here we will see two type of people. One, who wears sunglasses. They all are called as heroes, and they rules the whole city. Second, who don't wear sunglasses. Then we see a guy, whose name was also Guy. Just Guy. He lives in this city and works in a bank. As a daily routine, he goes to a cafe, where he drinks his favorite coffee. Then, we see his buddy, whose name was also Buddy. Buddy and Guy works at same place. Later, they go to the bank for work, where we find that Guy don't have a girlfriend, and he feels sad for that. In a meanwhile, a robber arrives with guns, and all people lies on floor. And Buddy tells Guy, "One day you will find your true love." Guy says, "Yes, and I already have made an image of her in my mind." Later, we sees a girl, her name was Molotov Girl. She meets a sunglass guy, he tells her, he got a proof of a secret level. When Molotov Girl asks for that proof, he says, "I don't have that video clip, but I know a man, who got that video clip," and shows her a map of his stash house location. He gives her that map. When he asks her about that video clip, Molotov Girl shoots him and leaves from that place. Later, we see that Molotov Girl catches Guy's attention by singing his favorite song, Fantasy. He thinks she is the one, his dream girl. Then, he tries to approach her and he follows her, but he hits by a train. Then, we see that Free City isn't a real world. It's an online video game. And we see a girl who were playing that game as Molotov Girl. We see the whole world is crazy about the Free City game, a massively multiplayer, online role-playing video game. Later, we see Guy, who wakes up, stares his goldfish, and picks his clothes as his daily routine. Later, he goes to cafe, where he orders cappuccino instead of his daily regular coffee. Everyone in that cafe starts staring at him. And the employee was also confused. Guy was scared, seeing them like this, and grabs his normal coffee and leaves. Later, in bank, a sunglass man again tries to rob that bank. While laying on floor, Guy sees Molotov Girl. On this, Guy says to his buddy, "I found yesterday's girl." Then, Buddy says, "She will never talk with him, she's wearing sunglasses. And we don't mess with the sunglasses people." Guy says, "I'll get some sunglasses of my own." Then he asks that robber to borrow his sunglasses for a sec. Then, we see two innocent girls were playing that game.
With a stupid mission. I told you to smoke his ass.
They refuses. But Guy still tries to take them, and accidentally shoots that robber. He gets those sunglasses, and he leaves bank, and wears them. He sees that he cannot see with his naked eyes. He was seeing the world that a player sees on his screen. He was amazed. Then Guy finds that he can make money by helping people, or by killing them. He was very happy, living like sunglass people. In real world, we see Free City Games office. We see games co-developer, Keys. He notices Guy stealing sunglasses from a player. Here, we find that Guy is a NPC, a non-player character. Keys shows this to his coworker, Mouser. And they think some hacker have hacked that character. And they both tries to ban him from game. But they fails. Later, they tries to kill him in the game. But after killing Guy, the players count was still same. Seeing this, Keys was astonished. Later, we see 2015's news, where Keys and Millie built a video game together, and that game's name is Life Itself. It's like a reality show, where all AI character can live like humans. And their game publisher is Tsunami Studios. Then, we see this news is playing on Keys TV. And we also sees Millie, where we find that Tsunami Studios CEO bought their game, but they never released that game. And they stole their source code, and put that in their multiplayer game, Free City. And lies about he made that game by himself. And he is not giving them any credits and royalty. That's why Millie is finding that video clip in that game. so they can prove that Tsunami Studios has used their source code in Free City game, That's why she came here to ask help from Keys to find that video clip. But Keys refuses to work with her, because Tsunami Studios could fire him for this. After that, we see Millie is now playing Free City game. She was trying to get in that house, where she will get that video clip. She finds there are too many guards. Later, Guy arrives there and fails her plan. Later, he tries to impress her, and he says, I will help you with this mission. But Molotov Girl says, you need to level up, you need to be at least level 100, to work with me. Then he asks her, how he can level up. She says, you can help people, or steal cars, rob bank and all other things. After that, we see, from helping people and doing good work, Guy is leveling up rapidly. And he is now famous in game world, and real world also. Real world people thinks, he is a real player. When he reaches 100 plus level, he goes to bank, to meet his buddy. And he tells him, about sunglasses. Then he steals sunglasses from a robber, who was trying to rob that bank. He tries to wear him, but Buddy refuses, because he was not ready for such a big change. After that, in real world we sees Keys, he gets a message from Millie, she asks him to help her. Later Keys uses his laptop, and teleports her to that house, and helps her to find that video clip. She finds that clip, but alarm activates. When she was leaving, guards attacks on her. She asks Keys to help her, but he was not able to help her. In a meanwhile, Guy arrives, and attacks on guards. While fighting, she was talking with Guy, but Keys was confused. Keys informs her, that there is no other player than her. Hearing this, Millie was confused, because she didn't know that Guy is a NPC, a non-player character. Then they runs from that house. But that videotape is left there. Later, we see Tsunami Studios owner, Antoine. And he was also about to launch Free City's sequel game, Free City 2. After that, we see Guy and Millie. He was showing his garage to her. She was impressed with that, and asks him his real name. Guy says, his name is Guy. And he works in a bank. Millie thinks, he works in Tsunami Studios, and he is a hacker who hacked this character, and made this kind of garage, and level, in no time. Then Guy asks her for an ice cream. When Guy orders ice cream, Millie finds that, which ice cream flavor she likes. Guy also likes that same flavor. She was surprised. Later, Guy kisses Millie's character Molotov Girl. He was very happy, because it was his first kiss. Then she tells him her name is Millie, not Molotov Girl. After that, in real world, Keys arrives at Millie's home. He tells her, that their code is still in the Free City. And it's still working. That's why the NPC character, Guy, is learning, and doing things by himself. Hearing this, Millie was surprised. Then Keys tells her, that Antoine is making Free City 2. And that will be a new game. Because of this, all the characters along with Guy will be deleted forever. Because of this, the world's first AI character will be deleted forever. Keys tells her that they need to go in the game, and find their source code. For this, they need help of Guy. After that, Millie finds Guy, and explains him that Free City isn't a real world. It's just an online game. Seeing his video, he was sad. And he thinks he doesn't exist, he is just a character that all players makes fun of. And he was depressed, hearing this harsh truth. And leaves from there. Then he arrives at his buddy's home, where he asks him, what would you do, if you find, that you are not a real person? Buddy says, it doesn't matter if I'm real, or not. I am sitting here, with my best friend, trying to help him get through a tough time. Right? And even if I'm not real, this moment is.
Right here, right now. This moment is real. I mean, what's more real than a person trying to help someone they love? Now, if that's not real, I don't know what is.
Now he heard a speech that will not make him depressed again. Later, he and Buddy goes to steal that videotape. Then the owner of that house arrives, and he was big fan of Guy. And he gives him that tape without any shooting, shouting, and dropping blood. Then Guy arrives at Millie's place, and gives her that videotape. Millie was very happy. In human world, we see, gamers have started looking at video games from a new perspective, because of Guy. And some are making him their idol. Because of this, Tsunami Studios owner Antoine gets angry because the booking for his new game, Free City 2, was down because of Guy. That's why he tells them to delete him forever. Keyes explains him that you cannot delete World's first AI character. But Antoine doesn't listen his advice and orders him to reboot the server. Later, we sees Guy and Millie is watching that footage. Millie says this will help her. Then Guy says he saw this place somewhere. In a meanwhile, Guy sees video footage data is lost. And Millie was also not talking, and everything in the Free City was freezed, except him. Later, the whole city starts to shrink. And Guy also disappears. Later, as soon as the server is rebooted, all the game's data was resetted. This makes Millie very upset. When game restarts, Millie goes to Guy. Guy says he don't know who she is. Now, Millie shows him that videotape and says you are Guy, and I am Millie. Now, the data was also deleted from the videotape, so now Guy was her last hope. But he didn't remember anything. She was disappointed by this. Later, in Human World, Keyes calls her and tells her that Guy's data is still available, and you need to activate because you are his dream girl, and he loves you. Guy's character was romantic because Keyes and Millie had copied the character from Romeo from their old video game that they developed. After this, Millie goes to the game and makes Guy her hostage and forces him to wear those sunglasses. But still he didn't remember anything. Millie then tells him about his favorite ice cream, but nothing works. Millie had only one last hope. Then, she kisses him. And luckily, he starts remembering everything. Then Millie asks him, "Where did you seen that video clips mountains?" Then, Guy takes her to his apartment and shows her windows where they see a reflection of those mountains. Then Millie finds that he has kept their data hidden in those mountains, and he forgot to remove that reflection. Later, in real world, Millie calls Keyes and tells him everything. Keyes says, the game won't let us go beyond. That's why they need to make a bridge to go there. He is afraid that the Antoine will not let them do this, and he will try to stop us. That's why Guy gathers all the NPC players of the game to stop Antoine. He explains to them that they are not made to die here, and they can do whatever they want. At the same time, he tells them that there is a world beyond the sea, where they can do whatever they wish, and man with sunglasses can't bother them. This makes all the characters happy. After that, we see, when real-world players arrives, they don't find any NPCs. Those players were upset because of this. Without them, those players cannot play the game. Seeing this, Antoine gets upset. Then he got a video clip, where Guy went to steal that videotape, where that player reveals Millie's name. Then Antoine comes to know that his ex-employee, Millie, has been found to do all this, who sued him. That's why he asks to ban the Molotov girl character. But Mouser says he is not able to trace her. So Antoine tells him to kill them inside the game. Mouser says all the characters in the game are on strike, so we can't do anything. However, even after this, Mouser tries to kill Guy and Millie with city's cars and buildings. But both of them reach outside the city with the help of Keyes. Here, Antoine was confused about Keyes not being in the office. Then Mouser asks him where Millie and Guy are going. Antoine tells him they are going to sea. Mouser was very surprised by this. He says that is the border of Free City. Then he suspects that there is something there that Antoine does not want to bring to the fore. Then Antoine tells their employee to send their new character, Dude, to kill them. Then, the security guards of the office finds Keyes and brings him to Antoine. Now, in front of Antoine, Keyes makes a bridge in the sea. So Guy and Millie will be able to find those mountains. This enrages Antoine, and he fires him from company. Then Antoine tells Mouser to delete every player in this game. So she couldn't reach there. And Mouser starts to delete everyone. Then Millie goes offline. While leaving, Keyes starts livestream of game. Then the whole world sees Guy. That's when the character of Dude is launched in the game. During this time, Dude was fighting with Guy. Guy was weaker than him. Later he tries to punch him to death. But Guy uses sunglasses power and block with Captain America's shield. and he gives him Hulk's punch. During the clash between the two, Guy drops his sunglasses, but instead of wearing, he puts on Dude. And Dude starts to look this world as gamer view. And he was playing with power-ups, like a small kid. And Antoine again fails to kill him. After this, Guy goes to the beach with his buddy. In real world, Antoine was mad at everyone. And he arrives at server room with Mouser. And he asks him about the server, which contains the sea and beach code. Now, Mouser realizes that Antoine stole Key's code, and he refuses to tell him about that server. Because he and Keys are good friends. And Antoine tells guards to throw him out. Then Antoine starts to break every server. One by one. Because of this, Buddy also disappears from game. But the guy somehow gets from the city to the other place. During this, the whole world was watching him. Later, we sees Millie arrives in server room and forbids him to break the last server. For that, she gives him an offer, the rights to the free city, and all subsequent games will remain with Antoine. And in return, he will be required to give her all the characters and maps of the free city. Hearing this, he was happy, and accepts that offer. Later, we see Tsunami Studios has become infamous due to livestream. And the sales of Free City 2 go down a lot. Here, Millie and Keys makes a new game, from the remaining characters and map. And they names it, Free Life. Where all NPCs are living happily. Later, Keys asks Millie for coffee, but Millie refuses. Now, Keys goes alone to drink coffee. When Millie visits Guy at the game, Guy tells her that he's not a character, but a love letter, written for her. And the writer of this letter is his maker, Keys. Now, Millie finds that Keys loves her. Because he made that character by his heart and the feelings for Millie. She understands how much Keys loves her. And runs to find Keys at cafe. Then they both look at each other, and they were very happy. And kisses in the middle of the road. Later, in Game World, we see Guy and Dude are now friends. But Guy was still missing his buddy. Then, he hears Buddy's voice, and finds that Buddy is still alive. Seeing each other, they both were happy. And walks with hugging each other. And movie ends here. To watch more videos like this, subscribe, turn on notification, and leave a like. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.